Hello, everybody. SlimKirby here. I am back. And guys, it's that time again. We've made it through 10 more Game Boy Advance games. We've braved the snow slopes. We braved the sunshine stables. We escaped out of Olaf's house, Count Olaf's house, and, well, I think it's time we move on and see what's future challenges await us. So, before we get started, as usual, like I do for these little segments, I like to kind of break down the adventures that we went through. For this past 10 games. Gonna also give some announcements as well as kind of prep everything for the big game draw. So before we do any of that, let's go ahead and bring up the game list from this last batch. These are the games that we played through. It was a very interesting batch. Definitely felt like it had a lot of variety in terms of just general feel to it. I wouldn't say there was really any games I felt super strongly about in this set. I think the highest score I gave was a 4. And even then, looking back on it, that could have also been a game that could have easily been a 3.5. So nothing super strong, but nothing really that felt bottom of the barrel either. I didn't really feel like any games were deserving of a 1 in this set, unlike the last set where there were a lot of games that could have had that distinction. So, yeah, it was alright though. For the most part, it wasn't a terrible batch. But I think the third batch was probably the most interesting one for sure. That one had a lot of surprises and bangers and everything. But yeah, we started with Matchbox Crosstown Heroes. Very short game. There were 2 games that took under an hour in this batch. Matchbox Crosstown Heroes was one of them. Very, very basic game. Just simple. Drive around an area and do these little objectives and mini games, and that's really all it was. Nothing too out there for sure. But for what it wasn't too bad. I had a little bit of fun with it. Wasn't a super great game, but for what it was something. It was a way to spend an afternoon. After that, we got SSX3, my first snowboarding game, but my third kind of extreme sports game for this challenge. It was the longest game of this set, and even if I didn't 100% it, it still would have been the longest game for this set. I think it started off fine. I think it controlled decently well for what it was, and I hadn't really had the best history with the extreme sports games so far for this challenge, but it just kind of dragged on way too long and, got very technical near the end. Some of the, tricks and scores you had to make were just, really, really, really rough. And, the events themselves took too long. Basically, every main event was, 3 separate runs down the same hill, and it just got tiring after a while. But, yeah, it was kind of rough, not gonna lie. I don't know if it was the worst game of this set, but definitely not one of my favorite experiences from this set for sure. Then after that, we had Kong, King of Atlantis, the second Kong game for this challenge. Only one more to go, not counting Donkey Kong, obviously. That's a different Kong. King Kong is who we're after here. King of Atlantis was, it was okay. It just didn't really offer a lot. It was just a very basic, just get to the end of the stage and beat up on enemies, or there just wasn't really a lot of substance with it. Didn't take too long, thankfully, but yeah, it was a game that didn't really do, too hot, all things considered. And had like one of the worst enemy gauntlets of all time. That enemy gauntlet on the like third to last level was stupid. But yeah. So yeah, the Kong animated series games did not do very much for me. The last King Kong game will be like based on the actual King Kong, like the old movie, the old classic. So as far as animated series King Kong, maybe steer away from those games for this system, just saying. So after Kong, we had probably my biggest scare for this particular part of the list. We had Let's Ride Sunshine Staples, which was a really scary game because of my history with Pet Resort back in the second batch. And sure enough, this game was created by the same exact developers that made Pet Resort. Seriously, I looked it up. Same publisher, same developer. Was literally created within a few months of each other. They were both by the same, essentially probably the same team. Maybe not the exact team, but like, same teams were definitely involved in some way. The game was better than Pet Resort, but, it's not hard to be better than Pet Resort. Let's just be real. It still could have been a lot better. A lot of it's just very repetitious. The game itself is kind of broken, considering there's like a glitch horse you can buy and just basically like just complete the game easily. In fact, it didn't really even have an end. I had to kind of just make up my own objective. So, yeah, I would not recommend the game whatsoever. Better than Pet Resort, but that's really the only praise that it can get. So, it wasn't that great. Next up, we have Smashing Drive, the other game that took only like less than an hour, 59 minutes and 13 seconds. So, pretty short game. Pretty cool arcade style, like, not really racing game, but it's kind of like, well, I guess it is racing because you are racing a car, but like, in addition, you're like collecting power-ups, you're finding shortcuts, you're smashing through things. It was pretty cool. It was a nice palate cleanser, I guess, for the second half of this batch, I guess you could say. So, it was nice for that. I wouldn't say it was an amazing, super amazing game, but I had fun with it. This was probably my favorite game of this batch, Smashing Drive. It's either that or Lemony Snicket, but I'll get into that a bit later. Definitely want to check out the game on console, because it definitely seems like there's like a console versions of the game that might look a little better. It definitely could have done a little bit better in the visuals department. So yeah, that could have been definitely a lot better for sure. After that, we had X-Men Reign of Apocalypse. I need to fix that on my document because I have Reign of the Apocalypse. No, it's Reign of Apocalypse. The character, not the actual apocalypse. It was a very, very basic standard beat 'em up. It didn't really offer or do too much. It was fairly easy. But, you could play as the X-Men, which was cool, so I didn't hate the experience, but it was definitely just kind of a that game happened type of game. X-Men, I guess you could say. X-Men. But, there are worse beat 'em ups I've played, honestly, so there are worse. Then we had Piglet's Big Game. This game was honestly not too bad. I gave it a 2.5, but for what it was, could have been a lot worse. Very basic licensed movie game. Really, really no challenge whatsoever. Later half of the game got very tedious with backtracking and going back and forth. Honestly, there was actually a lot of similarities between Piglet's Big Game and Lemony Snicket, actually, because it's a lot of just going to different areas, doing things, and going back to other areas. But it's a very basic children's game. Better than Strawberry Shortcake, that's for sure. Had some very creepy creepy, funny, silly, weird image stills that could be used for emotes. That's really all I got to say about Piglet. It was fine. Piglet was a fine time. Wasn't too bad. Then we had the Bible game, the other game that was kind of scaring me about this batch. It was okay. Honestly, a very interesting way to introduce, like, Bible lore to people. I guess it was kind of made to maybe give kids, like, a extra way to study Bible questions or stuff. Basically, you just go through the game, you collect stuff, and then you answer test questions about the Bible and Bible stories and everything. But it was fine. It could have been worse, but you know, it could have been a lot more too. It just got very repetitive by the end of it, and you know, it has one of my favorite audio clips. Yeah, Bible lore. Like I'm just used to saying it like that. Bible lore. There's a deceiver over there. Like that's probably like my biggest takeaway from that. And the ending, Satan falling into the lava, was a very, very funny ending for that game too. But yeah, it's still just a very basic, like, just walk around, collect scrolls, and study the Bible. That's really all it is. Then we had Robotech the Macross Saga, another very short game. Wasn't quite under an hour, but it was pretty close. Basic shmup, shoot 'em up game. I like that it had, like, multiple characters you could choose from that had different abilities. I like that you can upgrade your characters. You know, it had some good things going for it. Definitely could have been worked on a bit more. Kind of hard to tell, like, where, like, background objects and foreground objects intersected. Found myself taking a lot of damage due to hitting, like, the ceiling without realizing there was a ceiling there. You know, it could have been better, but it wasn't too hard either. It's a pretty short campaign, but there's multiple characters you could play as too, so offered a little bit of variety, I guess. Yeah, Love Triangle, the mech anime. And then the last game we had for this batch was Lemony Snicket, A Series of Unfortunate Events, based on the movie, which is based on the books, the first 3 books of the Series of Unfortunate Events series. Honestly, it was a very interesting game. I had some issues with it. Platforming could have been a lot better. Could have had a better sense of direction in some parts, but I think that as far as what it was a pretty fun game. And I think it was a pretty solid way to wrap up this batch of games too. So yeah, that's the breakdown for this batch of 10. I'd say that maybe I will give Lemony Snicket the just slight edge in saying that was probably my favorite game of this batch. But it's either that it's between that or Smashing Drive. I think maybe I could probably get a little more out of Lemony Snicket than Smashing Drive, but I think Smashing Drive had less wrong with it, so. It gave us Sunny. Sunny is like the best character in GBACE right now. Okay, maybe not, but still. No. Baby is correct. Baby is correct. Okay, well, we're still not going to quite start the game draw. I have a few announcements I want to make very quickly, so let me take this away for now. I'm also going to close my window because I hear someone mowing outside and I don't want that to distract from anything. Okay. So, before we get to drawing the next game, there are a few announcements I want to make. Some decisions I've made, and just some other milestones I want to acknowledge, because now that we've beaten 50 games, I mean, that's 50 games. That's roughly, at least right now, 1/19th of the series, because there's 946 games on my list. So, you know, making good progress there. The first 50 is done. And I mentioned a couple of times that, for every milestone I'd try to, do something, introduce something, and, just in general, kind of announce some different things that will be happening throughout this series as we reach certain milestones. So the first announcement I want to make is, as you know, this is a series about trying to beat every North American game on the system. However, I did always leave open the possibility for adding some other games, some non-North American games. And, I think we're going to add a single game to our list, at least for right now. We'll add more as we make other milestones, and maybe I'll add more than one game in some cases, but there are a few games that I definitely want to add to the list as we go through this. So I'm going to add one game, so we're now at 947 games overall. The first game I'm going to add is a game that was actually released, not really released in North America, but North America actually got a chance to play this game if you have the Nintendo Online Switch expansion pass. I am adding Kururin to the list. For those wondering what the hell that is, it's actually, if you've played Smash Brothers, I forget which Smash Brothers it was, but there was like one game that had an assist trophy that had like a spinning like blade that would kind of get in your way. It's the game that's based on, and basically it's it's just a game where you just kind of navigate mazes with this rotating propeller, and you just try to navigate the propeller through the mazes. I have actually already beaten this game before. I actually beat it on my own time, like just a few years ago when it actually released on Switch Online. So, it's a game I am familiar with, so I figured that why not add that to the list? So, yeah, we'll definitely be picking that up. That's a game that you can definitely expect to be covered at some point in this series. Keep in mind, it's competing with like almost 900 other games, though, so there's no guarantee we'll get it anytime soon, but it's there. I'm aware it gets really hard, but I think it'll be fun. I think it'll be a fun time. So yeah, that's added to the list. I know there is also a sequel to the game. I'm not sure if it has, like, I'm actually not sure, like, are there any, like, English, like, patches of the game at all? Because I'll probably just do those if it comes down to it. But, I could probably see myself doing the sequel as well if there's a good way to play it. So, yeah, Odin's expecting it to be Game 51. Yeah, sure, Odin. Well, we'll see. That's the first announcement. I have added that to the pool of games. I'm going to highlight it blue on the master game list, so we know that that's not a North American game. But and I'll color code and fix the document later so it reflects that. But that's basically it. That's the first announcement I want to make. The second announcement is going to be a very quick one. I made a decision during this set that when it comes to Fire Emblem, I'm not going to be doing those games progressively because, honestly, I don't really think you need to. Sacred Stones and Fire Emblem 7 Blazing Blade, they're completely separate, and even though the Japanese Binding Blade is connected with Blazing Blade, it being the continuation of Blazing Blade's story, technically Binding Blade released first, so I don't think it really matters what order to cover those games. So I'm going to be removing that stipulation that those are going to be played progressively. So I can get either Sacred Stones or Blazing Blade. Doesn't matter which one. it'll show whatever game that is, and I'll do them in whatever order we get them in. And of course, Binding Blade when that gets added. So, yeah, that's the one thing I wanted to, the one quick thing I wanted to highlight. So, if you go through the list, you'll see that it no longer says next Fire Emblem game next to those. So, I also just realized I never got rid of the number next to Fire Pro Wrestling, so I just fixed that. Okay, and the last announcement is, I kind of highlighted this a little bit at the start of the stream when I talked about my schedule. I think what I'm going to do, and I might actually put this on Sunday and not Saturday, but I think on next Sunday, before I get into my jigsaw puzzle for the weekend jigsaw puzzle, I'm going to be doing something a bit different. It's going to be for GBACE, but it's not going to be gameplay. I think I'm actually going to, and I know I have scores for all of my, games and everything, but I think for, now that we've made it through 50 games, I think I'm going to do a tier list stream, where I'm actually going to basically make a tier list of the 50 games we've played and maybe sort them all out in a tier list of sorts. And I think that, periodically as we get through this series, we'll come back to that tier list and we'll, add on to it. And just in general, we'll have a better classification. I'm doing this for two reasons. One, I know a lot of my friends do tier list streams, and they always seem like they're a lot of fun. So I thought that could be something fun to do, especially as we, make these milestones. And two, I'm not really super crazy about my ranking system, and I feel like if we do a tier list, maybe the result of that tier list could give me a better idea of how to rank my games. So I think that could be a good thing to do. So I think that's what I'm going to be doing. So next Sunday, at 1 p.m., normally when I start this stream is when I'm going to be doing that. So stay tuned for that. Should be a good time. And then, yeah, like I said, we can add on to that as we continue on. So yeah, I think that's it for the announcements and all the updates. So I think you know what time it means. Oh yeah, I think you know what that means. It is time to start rolling some new games. Let me get things set up here and we can get moving with that. Okay. Honestly, Odin, I would love to get that game. Even if it will take forever. I don't care. That's probably one of the most, hype games I want to play, honestly, from the, just general library at this point. Okay, so as usual, just to kind of, break this down, refresh people's minds, every game we have not drawn yet or played yet is going to be on this wheel. In most cases, I will play through games progressively, so if it's a game that's part of a series, I'll play the first game of the series first. And there's also some games where it's release date matters too. So if it's a case like a wrestling series or something, it doesn't really matter the order. I'm still going to try to play them in order just because, they were made after the fact and everything. So yeah, that's the first thing. Also, there are some games that are in multiple times beyond just their normal inclusions. Let's see, is that the wheel? Yep, there's the wheel. But let me just very quickly let you guys know what those games are. Also, hold on. Let's go back to the top here. These are the alternates. These are games that were drawn as alternates but did not get actually picked for the series. Because they were picked as alternates, they get one additional entry into the wheel. And those games are next Land Before Time game, Road Rash Jailbreak, next Backyard Baseball game, next Hot Wheels game, next Magical Quest game, next Super Robot Wars game, next High Heat Major League Baseball game, next Final Fantasy game, which is not Tactics Advanced, Konami's Collector's Series Arcade Advanced, next Teen Titans game, Hot Potato, Puyo Pop, and next Mega Man Battle Network game. So there's an additional roll of each of those. After we get through all the games that we're going to be playing, I'll pick 3 alternates, and those alternates will be the next 3 games that will be added to the alternate list. Okay, guys, let's do this. Let's roll some games as usual. Let's shuffle a few times. Let's click this 50 times. No, okay, we won't do that. We'll just do it 10 times. Shuffle 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. Let's spin that wheel. Game 51 that we'll be playing on Tuesday is... I don't know. Sports Illustrated for Kids Baseball. Our first actual sports game? Bread Ghost has not played that one. Okay, well, it has been added. Let me... I know there's a couple of Sports Illustrated sports games. Actually, just 2. It's baseball and football. Looks like we got baseball first. Okay, well, let me pull the wheel back. Let's remove that from the list. Oh, and I should mention that because of all the alternates, there are technically, it was 909 entries on the list, but keep in mind that's only because of alternates. There technically should be like 890 something, but alternates add a couple, obviously. Okay. Let's shuffle 3 times here. Let's spin the wheel again. Game 52, we got... Okay, next Jimmy Neutron game. Which means there's a couple we have to deal with. Let's find out which one it is to start. Looks like it's just going to be Jimmy Neutron Boy Genius. Brain Blast Jimmy. There are apparently 4 Jimmy Neutron games. So, you know, the odds weren't terribly, like, low to get this. I have actually seen the Jimmy Neutron movie, the first one. It's been a long time. I don't remember anything about it, so I just remember seeing it because it was Nickelodeon, and I was a Nickelodeon kid, so Jimmy Neutron Boy Genius. We're going to be removing all instances of that, so we're not going to get another Jimmy Neutron game in this set. Okay, so let's shuffle 6 times now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's Nick. It could be decent. Yeah. Okay. Game 53. There's still some classic NES titles we have to get to, by the way. Keep that in mind. Oh! Okay, that's gonna be a big one. I'm pretty sure. Isn't Shining Soul, like, kind of RPG-like? Or I might be thinking of Shining Force. Yeah, there are 2 Shining Soul games. Shining Force is a tactics game. I don't know what Soul is. Well, either way, it's next. Or, well, not next, but it's coming up. And it's just called Shining Soul. It's a Souls-like game. Yeah, long before Shining Souls games were even a thing. Okay, Soul is an action RPG. Well, that could be interesting. Gotcha, yeah. That's probably what it is, Kingo, yeah. So yeah, Shining Soul, that could be interesting. That could be very interesting. Okay, I think it's time to remove all instances. Let's do game 54. We'll do 7, lucky number 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Maybe get some Fire Emblem 7 in here. Crap. Well, we knew it had to happen sometime. This would be Madden NFL 2002. Out of the 6 Madden games that are on this system, the sports seasons. Had to happen at some point, guys. Madden NFL 2002. Yep. There's 6 games. 2002, 2003, 2004, 2005, 2006, and 2007. And apparently 2006 and 2007 have emulator issues, so those could be problematic, but obviously we're not dealing with that yet, so... Let's get those Madden games out of there. Get them out of that wheel. I mean, if it's like the SNES title, it's not bad. Just depends if you get into it. Yeah, I mean... When I was younger, I did enjoy Tecmo Super Bowl. So if it's kind of like that, it might not be too bad. But I kind of have a feeling it's not going to be like that. You know what? That pick really drained me. I just did not really get into that one. Let's not even shuffle this time. Let's just redeem ourselves with just a spin, no shuffle. Game 55, we got Smashing Marianne. Going back to Nick. We got the next Wild Thornberries game. Which, there's 2 of them. It looks like it's Wild Thornberry Chimp Chase. Mystery Land. Nickelodeon and sports. Yep. Let me actually check something. I just want to make sure if it's like Wild Thornberries or the Wild Thorn. Okay, it's the Wild Thornberries. Let me write that down. The Wild Thornberries. Okay, well, that should be interesting. I watched a little bit of Nigel Thornberry when I'll, Wait, did I tell you about the Nigel Thornberry mystery? I don't think you did, honestly. That's something I might need to hear about. But yeah, okay. But yeah, I watched Wild Thornberries when I was a kid, or younger, so, I mean, I'm at least familiar with the series a little bit. Okay, let me see this thing that Kingo sent before I do anything else. Look at the Bob-omb buildings. Oh my god, I see it. Oh no. The buildings look like Nigel Thornberry a little bit. I hate that I see that. Oh. Yeah, guys, look at that image that Kingo posted and just imagine Nigel Thornberry's face and then well, actually, it's the Sniffit buildings. I don't think they're Bob-omb buildings, but the orange buildings. They seriously look like that. That's insane. Smashing Marianne. Okay, well, that was fun. That was fun to see that. Thanks, Kingo. Okay, let's do. We'll do 6 again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, last time I played that map, I was like, oh my god, wait. I can't unsee it, yeah. Okay. Also, look at this Sudoku Fever. Maybe we'll get that. Or, you know, maybe the next Donkey Kong Country game. We'll see. Spin the wheel. $56 we got. Okay. Saberwolf. That's the Rareware one, right? Or the Rareware character that... Well, Swordmaster guy, there's 950. Like, I mean... I don't think I know that many people. Like... Like, well, personally anyway, because I do have over, 95,000 YouTube subscribers, but it's different metric. So yeah, that should be a fun. I'm actually kind of looking forward to that one. I thought this was a Killer Instinct character. Okay, let's do 4 this time. 1, 2, 3, 4. Here's to hoping we'll get Zoo Cube or Shin Megami Tensei Demi Kids Dark version, which means there's another version. Spin 57. Game 57 is... Oh my god. Well, we've had a few wrestling games, I guess, technically. WWF. I don't know how many because this didn't have a next WWF game. Now, there's 2 WWE games, but there's 1 WWF game. Wow, we're getting 2 of the W games out. There's not a lot of W games. WWF Road to WrestleMania. Did I spell WrestleMania correctly? I think I did. We only have 3 more to draw, guys. And very sports heavy, this one. Very sports heavy list this time. Well, maybe it's good that we got that then. Maybe it's good that we got WWF first before the WWE games. Okay, let's shuffle 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is for game 58. Okay. We're no stranger to Star Wars, but we have Lego Star Wars, which the Lego games, from what I hear, are actually pretty good. So, yeah. We got Lego Star Wars, the video game. Console urine, baby. Let's go. Game over. Yes. So, Lego Star Wars, the video game. Oh, you think the GBACE... Well, we'll find out. We'll find out. Best not to, like, freak out about it yet. Even if they're, like, okay, that's fine. Just making sure everything is set up. Looks like it. God, we only have 2 more to draw. 2 more games to draw. So let's shuffle it a grand total of 2 times. And we're going to totally draw Princess Natasha for some reason, probably. Or, Lego Bionicle. Okay, next Army Men game. That's I think that's like one of the first games, probably. Well, towards the top of the list, anyway. There are 3 Army Men games. We got Army Men Advance, Army Men Operation Green, and Army Men Turf Wars. It looks like it's going to be just Army Men Advance. Calm down, Silver. It's not Splatoon. Oh, guys, we only have one more game to draw. With 887 possible other options. So let's do it. Let's shuffle. You know what? Odin Spack used to have the number 33 in his name. We'll shuffle it 3 times, and then shuffle it 3 more times. And then we got also we also got Mario J94. So 9 minus 4 is 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And 6 times 10 for cheese 10 is 60. So we'll just do it 6 more times now. I may have done it 1 extra time without realizing. And Ultima, you know, that's a solid idea, but I'm just gonna add 2 to that. And yeah, let's roll. Hold on, Kingo. Hold on, Kingo. Oh, what the what the hell? How? What? I had no control over that. I seriously did nothing. I did nothing to affect that, I swear. Oh my god. Oh my god. Rigged. Rigged. Well. Hello, Kirby Nightmare in Dreamland. On game 60, no less. Oh yeah, I mean I could always do like the Meta Knight mode, because isn't that something they had in that version? I could just do both. Okay, they do have the colon in there. Okay, guys, well. Oh, I have to beat normal and extra to get Meta Knight. Oh, oh. I mean, I could always, like, just do it off camera and just say I have, like, a file where I could do that or something. I don't know. I have time to decide. I have time to decide. There's no rush on this. So, yeah. Okay, well, that was... I can't believe that happened. Like, the Sizz thing from the last draw was one thing, but, like, literally I saw Kingo's post, I reacted to it, just, you know, for fun, thinking you would get something like, you know, The Hobbit or something, and then all of a sudden, there it is, Kirby. I mean, why wouldn't I be able to not do Nightmare in Dreamland? That shouldn't be a problem. Okay, Final Fantasy Tactics Advance for game 70, I guess. Okay, well, let's take off the wheel for right now, and let's look at this, guys. Let me print screen this. At least we know we have Kirby waiting for us after all the frickin' sports games. Yeah, that's always a plus. Kirby gonna save us from sports. To explain the Sizz thing from the last draw, literally like a couple of days before like my last game draw, Sizz said something in like one of our friend group chats that was like, you know, this is what, like, I've been watching some of like the series of unfortunate events like games, and I'm really interested to see what happens when Slim gets to that one for Game Boy Advance. And sure enough, the next time I drew a game, that was game 6, that's game 50, so... That's what happened with that. But yeah, just take this list in, guys. There's honestly, like, some... There are some interesting things. I am looking forward to this. Like, the sports games, like, you know, could care less about, but, I mean, Shining Soul, interested in that one for sure. Interested in Saberwolf. You know, Kirby, obviously a good one to get to wrap this all up. Honestly, Madden is probably the game I'm, like, the most, like, on of this. I mean, at least with WWF, like, I mean, at least, you know, the wrestling games we have played so far were okay. I could see illustrated for kids baseball. That could be probably pretty simple. Nickelodeon games should be fine. Not really sure what to think about the Game Boy Lego Star Wars or Army Men, though, but... Wait, except for Kirby, you played any of the others before? No. Yeah, I've not played any of these other games. Kirby's the only one I've played of these. This is like a game case at a con that has 1, 2 good games and surrounded by Garbo. Yeah, something like that. Okay, well, before we wrap this up, we do have to draw some alternates, so we'll do that before we completely finish. I'll make sure I actually show the wheel this time, because I think I actually messed that up last time we did this. I'm only going to shuffle this We'll do 7 times again, and I'm not going to shuffle anymore. I'll just draw the 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Will we have our first double alternate? Let's see. Let's roll the 3 alternates. Again, these will only be done if, for any reason at all, we can't play any of the other games, or we have to quit one of the other games. That's what their purpose is going to be for. So our first alternate we have is... next Duel Masters game. I don't think it's Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel, which I'm sure a lot more people would probably be interested in. Duel Masters, where is that? Oh, there's 3 games. I need to actually look up the order of them. I don't know which is which, so I'll just highlight all 3 for right now. When I figure that out, I'll work with that later. It can't be. I removed all the instances of Madden, so we're not going to get more Madden or anything like that. Okay, let's roll the second alternate. Oh, Scooby-Doo. Scooby-Doo is back. Did not care for the Scooby-Doo game we did play. But there's still 4 other Scooby games. This one is Scooby-Doo the Motion Picture. And again, this is just an alternate, but it does add an additional slot in, so chances of playing Scooby will get a little higher for future wheels. And the last alternate we have is, we could get WWE. If we do, I'll not count those, since apparently WWE is what, you know, came after WWF. Oh, crap. Well, thankfully it's the 3rd alternate. Next, Barbie movie game, which, Barbie as the Princess and the Pauper. Okay. Let me figure out this Duel Masters thing really quick while we're here, because I mean I've usually figured this out on stream whenever I've done it. So list of GBA games, sort it by this. Okay, so we have Duel Masters Kajudo Showdown. That is 2004 NA. Duel Masters Senpai Legends 2004 NA. And Duel Masters Shadow of the Code 2005 NA. Gotta look this up somewhere else. Duel Masters Game Boy Advance Game FAQs. Okay, Kajudo Showdown is November 16. Senpai Legend, and yes, it is Senpai. That's June 1st. And just to verify, Shadow of the Code is, yeah, 2005. So it is Senpai Legends, then Kajudo, then Shadow. Okay. Yes, I'm aware it said next, meaning that yes, we will have other freaking movie Barbie games, I'm sure. Okay, next Duel Masters game. Next Scooby-Doo game. Next Barbie movie game. I'm really surprised that, like, that was the first time we've even seen Barbie pop up anywhere, because there's a lot of Barbie games on GBA. It's kind of surprising that we just now finally got one. Although, well, I mean, we did get Mega Man as an alternate at least, and we've gotten a few Mario games now, so that's pretty much it. Okay, guys, well, there you have it. That is the next list. Alternates, we got Duel Masters, Senpai Strugglehold, or whatever the hell that was called again. Scooby-Doo the Motion Picture, and Barbie the Pegasus and the Pauper or something, or Princess and the Pauper. Again, alternates will only be played if it gets to a point where we need to play the alternates. Oh, it's the Princess and the Pauper. There's a Pegasus game. That's what confused me. But yeah. How many Nintendo titles have we seen? Advance Wars. Yeah, Mario Party Advance. Super Mario Advance, Link to the Past, and Kirby. This is something I've been thinking of. Like, I'm wondering if, like, I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. Should I maybe try to make it a thing where it's like, for like first party Nintendo titles, should I maybe like try to spread them out a bit more, where it's like maybe for each 100, like I only can get like 3 or 4 or something? I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't, because there's definitely some thrill in just the random. It's just I don't want to get to a point where it's like the last 100 games are just all shovelware, you know? But I mean, it's going to be statistically a lot harder to get each time, though. That's the thing. I mean, we only got Kirby this time. It wasn't like the one roll where we got Link to the Past and Mario Party Advance. So, yeah, okay, I won't worry about it then. I'll just keep going the way I've been doing. Okay, guys, well, that's going to do it for this status update. What an update. Got some interesting games on the line here. Tuesday, we'll get this batch started with Sports Illustrated for Kids Baseball. I'm not sure what the rest of the week will have. I am going back to Pokemon Violet for DLC, not this week, but the next week. So we will be going back to like just one stream of GBACE per week, maybe 2 if Sunday opens up. But yeah, that's pretty much what we're going to be dealing with for the next bit of time. So buckle up. It should be interesting. One thing I will check out, I'm actually kind of curious about this now. I want to see if these games have actually, if people have beaten from the GBA challengers, if any of these have been touched yet. Sports Illustrated for Kids Baseball has not been touched, so I have no idea what the challenge is going to be for that. Jimmy Neutron's been touched. Okay, Shining Soul 1's been touched. Madden, I'm sure Madden's been touched. Yeah, it's definitely been touched. The wild. Okay, no Wild Thorn. Okay, no Wild Thornberry's been touched. Saber Wolf has been touched. WWF has been touched. Looks like Lego Star Wars has been touched. Army Men Operation Green? Was that? Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah, that's the second game. That's okay. Army Men Advance has been touched. And I'm sure Kirby's been touched. Yep, okay. So yeah, all those games except the first one has been touched by other GBA challengers. So I'm just going to look at the Sports Illustrated Football one, though. Ooh, the football one took apparently about like I'll go ahead and say it. The football one apparently took 6 hours and 50 minutes for some girl. That's the username, some girl. So I don't know, I don't know like how long of a series we're gonna be playing, but we could be baseballing it up for a bit. Hold on, I'm reading what you guys are saying in chat right now. Oh, okay, yeah, like the ROM. I usually check the ROMs before I, play them. So that shouldn't be too bad. Okay, guys, I'm not going to quite end stream because there's a few quick things I want to check in, what's the game I was playing? Lemony Snicket. I just want to get up to 200 butterflies and then also try the arcade thing. I'm just going to do that really quick before I end stream, but I am going to go ahead and go on a quick break, get some water, because my mouth is dry after reacting to all of this. And I'll come back and do that. But yeah, I'm not going to do any randomizer after all because I don't think I'd have time. And I don't want to end too early or too late because Mother's Day stuff. So, yeah. So yeah, I'll be right back. Thanks for those who came out to watch the reveal. I'm really interested to see how these games will go. But for now, let's be right back, and I will see you guys when I return.